My brother laughed when I begged for help. 3 years later, he signed away his company to me for $85,000. He didn't know why I could do it. I'd won the lottery and kept my mouth shut. I was the invisible middle kid. I worked 12-hour shifts as a diesel mechanic in Columbus, hands cracked from cold and oil. My parents bankrolled my older brother's construction empire and babied my little brother in their basement. When I lost my apartment, nobody offered me a couch. I slept in my truck and pretended it was temporary. When my transmission died, I called my older brother and asked for a loan, interest, payment plan, whatever he wanted. He laughed like I'd told a joke and said, "Maybe you're just not cut out for much." I took a payday loan and crawled out on ramen in spite. Then, on a miserable February night, I stopped at a gas station with $47 to my name. I bought a $10 scratch-off and scratched it at the counter. 3 matching amounts, so I read the rules twice. It wasn't $500,000. It was $20 million. About $13.4 million after taxes. I told no one. I set up the boring legal stuff, kept my same job, and kept driving my beat-up Silverado. 2 weeks later, I ran a test. I called my parents and said I'd been laid off, rent was going up, and my truck was failing again. I asked if I could stay a few weeks in the spare room downstairs. My dad gave me a lecture about real men finding a way. My mom suggested prayer. Then my dad said, "We're on a fixed income." They told me to figure it out. I called my older brother next. He offered me work, cleaning his office after hours for $8 an hour. He said, "Beggars can't be choosers." My little brother said, "Dang, that sucks," and went back to his life. Then I called my sister. She had an 8-year-old and barely scraped by, but she panicked like it was her emergency too. That night, she showed up with groceries, leftovers, and $60 from her emergency fund. She said, "That's what family does. We take care of each other." I didn't take her money. I took the message. While everyone thought I was broke and drifting, I bought a small warehouse through a shell company and built the custom truck shop I dreamed about. I hired 2 guys who treated me like a human when I had nothing. 6 months later, my sister got approved for a single mom housing program and moved into a modest house with good schools. My niece got her own room with a window. A year in, my older brother's business started collapsing. The hustle posts stopped, clients complained, bills piled up. Then he called me with that fake friendly voice. He said, "I need a partner. You invest $400,000 and I'll give you 5%. Think of it as paying for an education." So I had his books checked. He was weeks from bankruptcy. We met downtown at a steakhouse and he acted like he wasn't bleeding. He ordered the biggest steak and leaned back like a king. Finally, he said, "So, where's this investor?" I said, "You're looking at him." Then I slid my phone across the table. The balance glowed on the screen. He blinked, then froze. His fork stopped midair. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. He whispered, "How?" I said, "It doesn't matter." I told him the appraisers all landed on the same number, $85,000. Debt, lawsuits, and a bad name. I offered cash for 100% and a job if he wanted one. He tried to posture, then his eyes went flat. 3 days later, he signed. His first day as my employee, he rolled in at 10 a.m. and headed for his old office. I intercepted him and pointed to a desk in the open area. I said, "Conference room now. Your spot is here." I cut the company car, the expense account, the special treatment. His salary dropped to what the other project managers made. Then I hired my sister as operations director. She was smart, organized, and used to making miracles on a budget. Watching my older brother take orders from her felt like the universe finally balancing its checkbook. She didn't scream or gloat. She just documented everything and kept the work honest. He lasted a few months. Then he demanded his old role back, like this was a prank. I said, "You can do the job or you can leave." He left. No goodbye, just gone. My parents called to accuse me of humiliating him. I reminded them where they were when I was sleeping in my truck. They tried Sunday dinner guilt. They tried, "But he's family." I said, "So am I." Funny how that only matters when he needs help. I stopped showing up. My sister kept thriving. My niece kept growing. And the people who couldn't spare a dime when I was drowning learned what it felt like to watch me keep the lifeboat moving without them.